Hi guys, it's Debbie from What's Mama Cooking For Us. And today I'm making some Italian meatballs. And instead of using breadcrumbs, I'm using fresh Italian bread and a little bit of milk. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients. We got a hamburger. I got about a pound, and I had a little extra from something else I cooked, so about a pound and a quarter of ground meat. One egg. Usually I use two, but these are jumbo, so I'm going to just use one. 2 to 3 slices of bread. It depends because sometimes bread's a little bit bigger or smaller. Some grated garlic, and I'll show you. We just use my little cheese grater to grate the garlic, or you can just chop it finely. A quarter cup of milk, some Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper, and parsley. Simple and easy, and they just taste amazing. You can make meatballs all different ways, and there's a million recipes, a million families. But I tell you, without the garlic, they taste like a whole different meatball. So definitely add the fresh garlic, and you'll see the difference, and you'll never want to go back to just the sprinkled garlic again. All right, so let me get everything together, and we'll get started. Okay, guys, so I got everything ready. The first thing I'm going to do is I took the crust off the bread, which you don't have to take it all off. Whoops, I missed a piece there, totally. But I take that off, and then just put that in some milk. Of course, that's too small. But put that in some milk and let it soak. And you're not going to use the milk, you're just going to use the bread that's been soaking in the milk. And the crust isn't going to hurt anything. Okay, so then I got my 1 egg beaten, but I usually use 2, but this is a jumbo, so I usually use 2 for a pound. Most people say 1 for a pound, but I usually use 2, but that's a jumbo. I got 2 tablespoons of parsley, a teaspoon and a half of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 2 tablespoons of garlic, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And then, like I said, I have 1.25 pounds of ground beef. So let's start with the cheese. 2 tablespoons. Well, you don't have to start in any particular order. Just get it all in there. You want to get it all in there before you start mixing, so that way you don't have to touch any of the ingredients after you've been touching the hamburger. So let's get our garlic in there. And the garlic you can just chop fine, or I use the grater. There's our salt and pepper. There's our parsley. And our egg. Okay, and then I usually let the bread soak for a minute or two. There's no particular rule. And then just take it out of there, which it usually soaks up all the milk. And then just take it and squeeze it. Oops, I'm trying to do this with one hand, guys. There, so really you're not really using a quarter of the milk, you're just using it to soak it, so really it's basically still there. So then you want to make sure and go over all your ingredients, make sure you do all your ingredients, which we have, and then you want to just kind of go in there with your hand and just kind of squeeze together. You don't want to mush and pull it real tight, just kind of squeeze it easy so that everything gets mixed, but you're not like compacting it. Let's use that word. Whenever I'm trying to explain how to make meatballs so they're not hard and tough, just give them a squeeze like this. And that way you're getting everything mixed and they're not getting all tight and heavy. And then just look at it and think, you think I got enough seasoning, enough of this, and there's no real how much of this, how much of that. You just, make it your own. If you like a little more salt, put more salt. If you want a little more pepper, add more pepper. Same with the cheese. This is just a base. And if you look up any recipe for meatballs, a lot of people, they just have a base, and then you just take it and make it your own. So that looks pretty good to me. Everything looks mixed. Everything feels mixed, except for I found a big piece of garlic that I didn't get. There we go. So I think that's good. And then I usually just take about a golf size in the palm of my hand. I'm going to show you how I can roll it with one hand. Not trying to show off, I just only have one hand. And just get it and put it in the palm of your hand. And then just take your other hand, cup it, and just roll it. And just make sure it's just compact enough to stay together in the pan for frying. And that's it. You don't squish it and think, oh, I gotta, get it, just lightly like a pillow. Treat it like a pillow. All right, I'm gonna get cleaned up, and then I'll be back, and we'll fry up some meatballs. Can't wait, guys. Okay, guys, I'm getting my oil ready to fry my meatballs. And sorry about the sun shining in, but it's coming right in. There's no way for me to stop it. But I just have some olive oil in this pan, but you could use whatever oil you choose. And I just wait till start seeing a little bit. I got it on medium high. And if you want to check your oil to see if it's ready, just take a little piece of meatball, pop it in there. If you get that little sizzle and those ripples, you're ready to go. Okay, this might even be a little bit too hot. I'll turn it down just a little bit. You just want enough oil to come halfway up the pan. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. Yeah, that's a little bit hot, but I turned it down, so it should be alright. And I say don't overcrowd your pan, but I have enough that I don't want to have to make 2 pans. I think it was 12. Let me see. Let's count these. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I think they got 12. And just leave them alone once you put them in. And they'll probably cook a couple of minutes. And I wanted to tell you guys, you should use fresh parsley in these if you want to even fresher flavor. But your pasta takes about the same time it takes to make the meatballs. So your meatballs take about 10 minutes. It took us about less than 5 minutes to make them up. And it's going to take us about 5 minutes to fry them up. And so your water will be ready. You put your the water on, put your pasta on. And I don't know which sauce you're going to use, a jarred sauce, a fresh sauce, or sauce in your freezer, and then just have that all ready, and then this is all ready for a weeknight meal to make up in no time. And I just wanted to tell you guys, I made a playlist of my meatballs because I do some oven ones, I do some with oatmeal, and so I made a little playlist, so I'm going to link that up here, so if you want to go check that out. But of course, with my mother, we always made ours fried. She never made them in the oven ever. I never even made them until years after she passed away. And I never would have thought I would have made them in the oven in my life. But I did. And then I just use a tablespoon from your kitchen. And that's how we flipped them. And then I have set up here just a little, sorry about the light, a little tray thing with some paper towel. And then we're just going to let these cook a little bit. And I just want you guys to know, so start your pasta and get all that ready. And then by the time you do the meatballs, slice up your bread, and then get everything all set. You'll be all set for a simple, easy weeknight dinner. Meatballs, this has cost less than $5 to make these meatballs. And the meatballs, spaghetti meatballs is like the cheapest thing you can make. Like some people make different things for their cultures. Spaghetti meatballs are what we make to feed a lot of people, and it's delicious. And so I hope you guys try my meatballs. I hope you give them a try. And if you are going to do different amounts, I was saying about, put a little bit more of this, a little less of that. You don't want to put too much cheese and then too much salt, so you got to be careful with the salt and the cheese. But other than that, you can, make it up the way you like, the way you want. And then what I usually do is just wait till these start looking like they're, I know the lighting's terrible, I'm sorry. Until they're like halfway cooked up, you can see. when they're halfway cooked, then I flip them. You can usually see when the brownness comes around the sides. And then I always like to take a little of this, after this is cooked, you get that good grease, and I put it in my sauce. Not too much, couple teaspoons. It just helps give lots and lots of flavor. But you don't have to do that if you don't want, but I've always done that. My mother's always done that. And I just love making meatballs, you know. It reminds me of my mother, my father, home, and growing up we ate spaghetti and meatballs a lot. My favorite's rigatonis. But, yeah, and so I just love making meatballs. It always makes me think of my mom. Being in the kitchen with her, cooking. I mean, we've made so many meatballs together, and I've always enjoyed making meatballs with her. See, look at that. That's what you're looking for. See that color? Okay, let me see. Let's get you over where the light, the sunlight isn't shining quite so bright. And I always liked mine out of the sauce growing up. I don't know why. And, I mean, I do know why, because they're delicious, but I never liked mine in the sauce growing up. And now, of course, I love them both ways. But I always eat or save out one or two for myself out of the sauce, and I eat it, you know, by itself or on a piece of Italian bread. It's hard to do this when you're looking in the camera, but see, so that's what you're looking for. See, a little crispiness on top, and we're just going to give them a couple, about another minute or two. You want to make sure they're cooked inside, and usually it takes about 5 minutes or so. So I'll come back when they're finished. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes. I'm going to give them another few minutes. And I just moved them around in the pan a little, because you know sometimes you get hot spots in certain places, and then other spots, you know, it's not cooking as well. But see how good they're holding their shape with no problem. And then, like I said, I take a little of this grease. I just put it right here in my sauce. And you get some good flavor. Real good flavor. Okay. And so just let them go. I turned it down a little bit once they start cooking. And they get a nice crust on them. Because you want to make sure they get cooked good inside. About total 10 minutes should be about good. And I'll be back when they're finished. And they smell so good, and I can't wait to bite into one. Okay, guys, so it's been about 12 minutes, I think. And I just flipped them around a lot. And, you know, make sure you kind of like flip them like that on their sides. Sometimes some of the sides don't get all the way done. And what I do is I just break one open like this. And look and see if there's any pink, and if it's cooked inside, I'm all good to go. And when I was saying about getting those bits on the side, go around the side of the pan, get some of those bits, and put them in your sauce. Because those are the good bits, and they taste really good. So let's start taking these out. The best thing about cooking is you get to have a bite of these first. So let's turn our stove off. And if you're going to put these in a pan and let them cook 2 hours on the stove like you would if you're making fresh sauce, you don't even have to cook them all the way through. They'll continue cooking in the sauce. But if you're going to be eating them now, which I am, or with a, you know, like a weeknight dinner, you know, with the making your pasta up in 10 minutes and making these up in, you know, about 15 minutes, then you want to make sure they're cooked all the way through. And so, like I said, I like to get some of those bits and a little bit of that grease and just put it in there. And that's about it. Like 3 tablespoons. And look at these. Let me bring them over so you can see them better because the sunlight's in my way over here. Okay, so they're all done. Look at how good they look. OMG. Look at that. Yum. Okay, let me get them put on a dish and we'll be all set to go. Okay, guys, there they are. And you can also freeze these. Now you can just let them cool down, put them in a freezer container, put them in your freezer, and they freeze perfect. Or you can put them in your sauce and then freeze them with some sauce on them in the sauce, or just with, a little sauce on them just in the freezer. But I'm going to give these a bite. The one I broke in half, of course, and let you know my reaction. Look at that. Oh my God, you guys. So delicious. And the garlic flavor is just amazing. So I'm gonna put these in my sauce, and then they're gonna be all set, and my pasta is almost ready, and we're gonna have dinner. So I hope you guys give these a try. I hope you enjoy them as much as my family does. My mother never put the fresh garlic in, but other than that, this is her recipe, and I love it with the fresh garlic. You guys, try it with the fresh garlic, and you'll never go back to just eat no garlic or just powdered garlic. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, give me a like, show me the love, subscribe to my channel, come over and check out my Facebook group, because I always have other things going on over there as well that I don't have on my YouTube channel. And I want to thank you guys all for sticking with me and, supporting me. And I'm getting close to 2,000 subscribers. I got over 305 videos, so go check them out. I have a ton of playlists. Go check all them out. And I'm also going to leave the link here for my meatballs right up here in the corner. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. God bless. Alright, guys, I wanted to show you it all made out on the platter, because dinner wasn't quite ready at the time I finished the video, but look at that. Look at those incredible meatballs. Aren't they just beautiful? Oh my God. So serve them up on a nice platter, put some Parmesan cheese over the top, and enjoy. Thanks again, guys.